Welcome, food lovers. Well, actually lovers of any kind, because today's dish is a dish of love. And I love the name, well, partly because I came up with it, but I love it. It's called, if you got it, flaunt it. Why not? Stuffed Chicken Valentino in a champagne mushroom sauce. Doesn't get much more decadent than that. So, first of all, you take your chicken, you pound it. And so what I've done is I've taken the chicken breast, sliced it in half, opened it up. This term is called butterflying. So basically you're opening it like a book and pounding it flat. And look at that shape. That looks like a heart. So it's a perfect chicken breast for this recipe. So next, we're going to season it. We're going to start off with Italian seasoning. And in the future, when my online store is up and running, I'm going to be selling spice blends. I make spice blends from all over the world. I've gathered recipes. This is one of the spice blends that I will be selling. So, Italian seasoning. All right, so we have that. Next ingredient is freshly ground Parmesan cheese. Okay, and then last but not least, we have finely chopped chives. So, I've mixed that all together. And now we are going to season the inside of the chicken breast. Just one side only. That's it. So this is going to add amazing flavor to this chicken breast. It's going to be incredible. Okay, so there we go. I think that's enough. Voila. So, next step, roasted red peppers. You can roast them yourself if you have little time. Buy them in a jar, that's okay, I won't tell anybody. And you place your roasted red peppers at the end of your chicken. And then on top of the red peppers, grated Swiss cheese. Okay, so this is going to make a delicious stuffing for this chicken. Now, when I roll anything, I always like to roll away from me. So there we go, 2 hands. Now try to roll as tightly as you possibly can. And don't worry if part of the stuffing falls out, that's okay. There we go, as simple as that. So you just roll 2 hands together. Now I'm going to use 2 toothpicks to keep it together. There we go. Now, next, we dredge. I have already mixed together the flour, salt, and pepper. So I always use freshly ground black pepper, always, because I love the flavor of pepper. And I love to use, for seasoning anything, at any time during the process of cooking, I love to use Himalayan pink salt. The salt is really good for you. There we go. So I have now dredged the chicken. It's all ready to go. Okay, so the chicken is nicely dredged in flour, salt, and pepper, as I said. The oil is ready to go. One way to know that your oil is ready is you can just put a little tiny bit of flour on there, and if it sizzles, ready to go. So oil also shimmers, and so this is all ready to go. So what I'm doing is just gently browning it. That's it. And so I'm going to use tongs to turn it, gently browning it in olive oil, which has a high smoke point. And then once it's nicely browned on each side, we are going to put it into the oven to bake for about 20 minutes. And then after that, then we'll make our sauce. So this is coming. Okay, so as you can see, this is beautifully browned and it's ready to go. A little tiny bit of a brown tinge to it. And I'm just browning 2 other chicken breasts as well. They're coming along nicely. And then everything will go into the oven all together. Thank you. Okay, so now that the chicken is in the oven baking for about 20 minutes, we are going to make our delicious sauce, our Valentino sauce. And first of all, we'll start with butter. Well, you can't go wrong with butter and sauce, that's for sure. And we're cooking in the same skillet that we cooked the chicken in. So there are a lot of amazing, delicious flavors there. And the utensil I'm using here is bamboo. I love to cook with bamboo. It's it's a great utensil to use. Okay, so that's the butter. And we are melting that. Our next ingredient, so that's ready to go. Next ingredient, sliced mushrooms. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to brown them. And we're going to cook them until the liquids are absorbed. So I'm going to turn the heat up. And if you need more fat, for example, if the mushrooms are sticking, then you can, if you don't want butter, you can use oil. In this case, you can combine the two. I'm using avocado oil. It has a very high smoke point. So, avocado oil and mushrooms and butter. So, once we have cooked the mushrooms, then what happens is, this is champagne. That's our next ingredient. You can't go wrong with champagne in your sauce. Definitely not. So that's our next ingredient. That is going to add amazing flavor to this sauce. And so what happens is we're going to pour it in, and the champagne is actually going to deglaze the bottom of the pan, the bottom of the skillet. And what I mean by deglaze, all of those little tiny delicious little bits of the chicken in the bottom of the pan, on the bottom of the pan, are going to be picked up. They're going to be lifted up by the champagne. So double duty. So you can also sip your champagne if you like while you cook. Why not? Pourquoi pas? Okay, so our mushrooms are getting close to being done. And the final ingredient in making this delicious velvety sauce is, of course, cream. Has to be cream. Now the mushrooms are sticking a little tiny bit. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And that will help. And I'm cooking on a cast iron skillet. And I love to cook on cast iron. There's only one little thing you have to watch out for, and that's the handle. It conducts the heat. So whatever you do, do not touch the handle. Usually what I do is I put a cloth right here, so I'm not tempted. I once burnt my hand very badly during a cooking class, and I was studying culinary arts, and I'll never forget that. I reached in and took a burning hot skillet, cast iron skillet, out of the oven with my bare hand. I thought I was Superwoman. Apparently not. That hurt. Okay, so mushrooms are nicely browned. What I'm going to do now is pour in the champagne. I know, a waste of a good glass of champagne, but it'll be worth it once you taste the sauce. Okay, here we go. There we go. So that is sizzling really well, and I can smell the champagne vapors. I'm going to turn the heat up because we want it to come to a quick boil. So the champagne will reduce. We're going to have delicious flavors in this sauce. I can tell. So once the chicken is baked, we'll remove it from the oven, and then we'll nestle it nicely into the sauce for a little bit. And then we'll remove it, take out the toothpicks, pour over the sauce, and serve it to your love. There we go. So this is just going to be a minute. It's turned up high. We're cooking with gas. And then your chicken Valentino will be deliciously ready in no time. We have about 13 minutes left for the chicken. So in the meantime, good use of time, make the sauce. There we go. So that's been reduced. And now I'm going to add the cream. The delicious cream. And we're going to let that reduce further. We'll just stir all of that nicely together. Okay, thank you. That's your cream sauce ready. Your chicken is almost ready.